The next feature we'll take a look at is the edge flange. This can be used to add a flange along an edge or multiple edges of your sheet metal part. To add an edge flange, all you need to do is click the Edge Flange button and then pick the edge or edges you wish to add the flange to. You can also do this in reverse. That is, you can select the edge first, then the edge flange icon. A preview of the flange appears, as well as the Edge Flange Property Manager. Let's take a look at the options in the Property Manager. The first area is where you define the edge and the flange profile. By default, SolidWorks will make the edge flange the entire length of the edge you selected. If you wish to change this, you can click the Edit Flange Profile button. I'll make a couple of changes. I want the profile to be shorter than the entire edge. All of the sketch options are available while in Edit Flange Profile mode. Just remember to keep one edge of your sketch on the edge of the part you selected. Otherwise, you can add sketch entities, dimensions, and relations just like any other sketch. When you have the profile you want, you can either click Finish to accept the edge flange, or click Back to continue adjusting the edge flange properties. Since I haven't adjusted the properties on the edge flange yet, I'll click the Back button. I have the option to use the default radius, the one contained in the sheet metal feature in the feature tree, or to specify a different radius by clearing this checkbox and entering a value. I can also change the angle of the flange from the default 90 degrees to another angle. The next section of the flange properties deals with the length of the flange. As you can see, you can change it from blind, up to vertex, or up to edge and merge. The up to edge and merge option is used to combine two separate sheet metal bodies with the same thickness. The two bodies must also have parallel linear edges. We'll look at this option in a future lesson. If you leave it on a blind flange length, it's important to note the three buttons underneath the spin box. The first measures the length from the outer virtual sharp. Now this means the length is measured from the outside face of the part. The second button measures the flange from the inner virtual sharp, or the inside face of the part. The third button measures the tangent length of the flange. I'll choose to measure 1 inch from the outer virtual sharp. The next area to look at for the definition of this edge flange is the flange position. This option controls how the material will be added to the sheet metal part. There are 5 buttons that will allow you to specify the position. Your options are Material Inside, Material Outside, Bend Outside, Bend from Virtual Sharp, or Tangent to Bend. Now perhaps the best way of understanding what each of these does is to click on each of the options and notice the different results in the preview. If you wish to extend the flange, you can add an offset distance by checking the Offset checkbox. As you can see in the preview, this extends the edge flange away from the part. I'll use the Material Inside option. In order for this flange to be bent properly, SolidWorks recognizes that relief cuts will be required, so it'll automatically add them. You might recall from the base flange lesson that the parameters that define the shape and size of these relief cuts are found in the sheet metal feature. Here at the bottom you have some settings you can use to override the default bend allowance and relief type. I use the default values and click the green check to finish this flange.